Hey everyone, and welcome to the Media Deem YouTube channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of habit formation with a book that's been making waves. Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg, Ph.D. Ever wondered why it's so hard to stick to those New Year's resolutions or build new routines? Well, you're not alone. But what if we told you that lasting change could be as simple as taking one tiny step at a time? That's exactly what Dr. Fogg's groundbreaking method is all about. In this video, we'll uncover the secrets behind building habits that stick, exploring key concepts like the surprising power of small, achievable goals, how to harness the momentum of tiny wins, creating a positive feedback loop for lasting change, unlock the secrets to forming habits effortlessly with tiny habits. This audiobook reveals the most comprehensive, practical, and straightforward method for creating new habits quickly and effectively. Transform your life by adopting small changes that lead to significant positive outcomes. What's inside? Starting small. Learn the power of beginning with tiny, manageable habits. Pushing collective change. Discover how individual habits can inspire broader societal transformations. The Fogg Behavior Model. Understand the scientific framework behind habit formation. Positive changes. Embrace strategies for making lasting positive changes in your life. The science behind habit formation. Dive into the research that explains why habits stick. Key points. The problem is the instructions, not you. Learn why traditional methods fail and how to succeed with better instructions. Your behavior is a project to design. Approach your habits as a design project. Motivation is not a deal breaker. Discover why simplicity can be more effective than motivation. Simplicity takes over motivation. Focus on making your habits easy to do. Design your afters. Plan what comes after your current habits. Celebrating should be a daily practice. Incorporate daily celebrations for your small wins. Tiny successes are game changers. Recognize the power of tiny successes in creating lasting change. Bad habit, a tangled rope to untie. Understand and untangle your bad habits. By creating yourself, you create the world. Realize how your personal habits impact the world around you. Focus point 1. The problem is the instructions, not you. Have you ever noticed that throughout life we strive for change? We want to be happier, get promotions, find true love, or lead a healthier lifestyle. Yet, with all these ambitions, we often think, something is wrong with me. Or why can't I just do it? So, how do we bridge the gap between our aspirations and our daily actions? Let's set aside frustration by realizing that we, as individuals, are not the problem. Failure often means we used the wrong tools or followed flawed instructions. It's the approach or system that failed, not you. Your habits shape who you are and your overall happiness. Think about how many wishes haven't come true due to self-doubt, judgment, or seemingly impossible demands. Dr. Fogg's work offers the keys to the changes you desire in life, emphasizing the importance of feeling good throughout the process. Transformation consists of small steps. If you want change, start with tiny adjustments. It might feel unnatural and overwhelming to dedicate hours to working out or learning a language. Instead, you can begin with 2 push-ups while your coffee brews or learning 2 new words of a language during breakfast. Embrace the habit of spending just 10 seconds each morning saying, "It's going to be a great day," after waking up. This tiny change can help you develop a positive attitude that will shape your subsequent actions. Recommendations. Start small. Begin with manageable tiny habits like 2 push-ups or learning 2 new words each day. Positive morning affirmations. Spend 10 seconds each morning saying, "It's going to be a great day," to cultivate a positive mindset. Focus on process, not perfection. Understand that using the right tools and following effective instructions is key to success. Adjust your approach if needed. Celebrate small wins. Recognize and celebrate your small achievements to reinforce positive behavior. Be kind to yourself. Remember that failure often results from flawed systems or tools, not personal shortcomings. Be gentle and patient with yourself as you make changes. By starting with small, manageable changes and focusing on the right systems, you can achieve your aspirations and feel good along the way. Focus point 2. Your behavior is a project to design. You've probably tried to change your behavior many times, but most likely never wondered how you formed that behavior. And you can't change what you don't know. Dr. Fogg distinguishes 3 main elements: motivation, ability, and prompt. Motivation is your desire to take action, ability identifies your capability, and prompt is what triggers your action. Make sure that you make a hard step with solid motivation. You can solve the lack of desire by simplifying what you have to do. Repeating an easy action like learning 2 new words per day makes it effortless after some time. You won't even notice how you started learning 10. Let's look at the example of Katie. She started cleaning up her desk every evening after work. In this way, she feels the energy to be productive. But would she have developed this habit if she had decided to tidy up the whole office daily? When it comes to the prompt, keep those signals that trigger your desired behavior and eliminate those that stand in your way. You can leave your phone in the kitchen to avoid starting your day by scrolling through Instagram. Maybe you often struggle with not getting the behavior you want from yourself or other people. Ask yourself 3 questions to achieve your goal. Why is it important? What makes it difficult? Is there anything that can serve as a reminder to do it? Instead of getting frustrated or blaming yourself for your behavior, try to understand it. Be your advocate on the way to your goal. Jennifer wanted to practice sports again, but she couldn't make it a regular habit. And on the days she didn't exercise, she felt like a failure. She started applying the behavioral model. While questioning her motivation, she understood that there is a greater interest in doing sports when being part of a group. Just like that, a weekly yoga class with other people became a constant habit. You can find what brings you joy about the change and implement it in your life. Focus point 3. Motivation is not a deal breaker. As humans, we can remarkably turn our aspirations into feelings of disappointment or failure. This shift happens when this desire is so tremendous that it feels like a fantasy. Therefore, it requires a significant effort that we will often postpone. Motivation is like a party animal friend. Great for a night out, but not someone you would rely on to pick you up from the airport. You must understand its role and its limitations. B.J. Fogg. The primary sources of motivation are desires, rewards or punishments, and the environment. It is okay to experience conflicting desires, like wanting to eat junk food and having a fit body. This moment is the perfect time to ask yourself why you want these things. A desire for junk food may just come from the lack of dopamine you can get from other sources. Motivation changes like a wave. It's not your fault that sometimes it can go away. But relying only on motivation waves leaves too little time to get what you want. You can strive for something but not lift a finger just because you have yet to figure out an easy way to do it. Ask yourself a few why questions to clarify your inner wish. Create a list of as many behaviors as possible that can lead to stress reduction. Then explore the most effective and accessible options that are a natural match for you. Notice how you feel about the behavior and experiment with it. Meditating is a good option but may be exhausting for some people. So, try something different like taking a walk. If you focus on something you already want to do, there is no need to work hard on your motivation. Did you know? A specific aspiration might be a cover for our genuine needs. For example, eating lots of chocolate may remind us of a childhood memory of feeling loved and happy. So chocolate is an aspiration on the surface, whereas the actual need is a certain feeling. Focus point 4. Simplicity takes over motivation. Your brain doesn't like radical changes and actions that require a lot of effort. When you follow the go big or go home rule, you'll likely be going home with your 2 new friends. Disappointment and self-criticism. I change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. B.J. Fogg. Define the tiniest step you can take on your way to a habit. Instead of an entire morning workout, start with a 1-minute body stretch. Meditation habits can start with 3 breaths. These small steps bring you confidence that becomes a trampoline for all your following actions. It's best to avoid trusting your dream to a sudden feeling of motivation, but you can trust that you will do what you need if it's easy enough. You are capable of more things than you think. You just need the right instructions on how to do it. Consider the amount of time, money, physical ability, and mental space when deciding if a new habit will fit your routine. A strong wind will destroy a big plant with small roots. In the same way, our ambitious and fast wish to work out for 30 minutes every day gets washed away by our lows in energy. Let's take a look at Molly. She aspires to eat healthy meals, but meal prepping for 5 hours wasn't something she wanted to do. Her first reactions were a feeling of disappointment and giving up on herself and the habit. But after redesigning the approach, Molly figured out that special kitchen devices could shorten the cooking time to 2 hours. She achieved her aspirations by finding an easy way to complete the task. The easier it is, the more you do it and the better you become at it. Catch the moments when your motivation is up. This may be the time to increase your skills. Don't rush yourself, and don't crush your aspiration with high expectations. We are just humans. Focus point 5. Design your afters. Not a single action happens without a trigger. You see a notification, you end up scrolling for an hour. You walk near a sale sign. You wonder where your salary went. The world is full of prompts that dictate our next steps. Do you follow the right ones? With prompts, you can help yourself get what you desire. For some habits to work, you must choose the right time. Let's take a look at Amy. She was in an unhappy marriage and was afraid of losing her kids. She couldn't get a divorce without improving her finances. Her task was to write one thing she had to do right after saying goodbye to her daughter at kindergarten. After half a year, she got a divorce, won $1 million project, increased her income, and gained full custody of her kids. Amy's story proves how simple, consistent, well-designed actions can lead to something big. Dr. Fogg distinguishes 3 types of prompts. Person prompts come from inside of you. These are mostly the things that your body tells you to do. Context prompts are all your sticky notes, alarm clocks, or notifications. Find what kind of reminders work for you. Reorganizing your to-do board or writing on your mirror with a special marker. Action prompts are things you already do that signal your other habits. They can also be called anchors, parts of your everyday routine like drinking morning coffee or washing your hands. You can use simple actions like these as your prompts. If it doesn't work, don't blame your character or willpower. Try to redesign what your environment is telling you to do. For example, try reading 1 paragraph of a book after brushing your teeth. A sequence of these minor and precise afters will become a routine you will call a habit later. Also, a good solution for dealing with irritators is doing something nice for yourself after interacting with someone toxic. No path to creating changes has only one line. When feeling something isn't right, get curious and ask yourself questions. Focus point 6. Celebrating should be a daily practice. Feeling good and satisfied creates the energy and space for something bigger and is essential for growth. Completing a tiny habit may not be a magic trick that solves all your problems, but even on bad days, you can celebrate your successes. When you have many reasons to feel down, create at least one tiny reason to feel good. We often praise our friends for their small victories, so why do we hesitate to do the same for ourselves? This hesitation isn't just about self-talk. It's also about brain circuitry. Your brain is wired to repeat actions that produce dopamine, the neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. Your emotions during a behavior will determine whether you'll do it again. When you feel good, you don't even have to decide to repeat a habit. It happens automatically. Have you ever wondered why humans often have contradictory wishes? You might hope for 6 a.m. wake-ups and all-night parties at the same time because your brain craves dopamine. However, you can create pleasant feelings around the habits you want by rewarding yourself during or right after the behavior. Eating an evening dessert after morning training probably won't work because you need to feel successful closer to the workout time. Your reward can be a smile, a thought of affirmation, a yay. exclamation, doing a little dance, or even snapping your fingers. Find what creates that warm feeling for you. It might feel awkward, but ask yourself some questions to find a natural reward. What is your first reaction after hearing you've landed your dream job? Or what do you do when you wad up a paper and throw it perfectly into the bin? To succeed at creating habits, you must find a way to wire that good feeling to your behavior. Recommendations. Create daily celebrations. Make it a habit to celebrate your small wins every day. This can be as simple as a smile, a mental pat on the back, or a small cheer. Identify your reward triggers. Find what naturally makes you feel good and incorporate it into your habit formation. It could be a quick dance, a snap of your fingers, or a positive affirmation. Stay close to the behavior. Ensure your reward happens immediately after the behavior to reinforce the habit. Experiment and adapt. Try different rewards to see what works best for you. Keep experimenting until you find the one that gives you that warm, satisfying feeling. Reflect and adjust. Regularly reflect on your progress and adjust your rewards as needed to maintain motivation and satisfaction. By consistently celebrating your tiny habits, you reinforce the positive feelings associated with them, making it more likely that these behaviors will become automatic parts of your routine. Focus point 7. Tiny successes are game changers. We already figured out that you must go tiny to achieve something significant. But what do we do next? Sukumar has been trying to lose weight for 17 years, but his wish to return to his easy lifestyle with cupcakes and chips crushed all his attempts. He was concerned about his looks, health, and relationships, so he tried the tiny habits method. It all started with 2 push-ups and a 5-second plank after brushing his teeth. He lost 20 pounds and gained a consistent habit. But how do we get from tiny point A to a more significant point B? Growing a habit means getting better at that one action, like cleaning the room instead of only a desk. Multiplying happens when you start doing more repetitions of the behavior you want to embrace, such as eating healthy meals and going to the gym. When you identify what you want, make the action easy, and find the right time for it, your habits will grow and multiply naturally. Success in your tiny habit boosts your confidence and motivation to repeat it and do it better. However, creating changes is more than just a matter of character, and it's not a process that depends on a sudden motivation feeling. It's a system, and there are specific skills to help you build it. Like any other skill, they are mastered by experimenting, failing, and trying one more time. Imagine if babies stopped learning how to walk because of their falls. Something difficult can't stay difficult forever. Eventually, it becomes easy and a part of the routine. Increasing your number of habits and their frequency depends on what works for you. Explore yourself in the process of trying to achieve something. Frustration and pain may appear to tell you that you're moving too fast or doing something too hard. Try to find a deeper meaning in your tiny habit. On the one hand, it's only leaving small love notes for your partner. On the other, a happy and fulfilling relationship. Don't forget about adjusting your environment to the habits you want to have. Drinking more water may require putting your water bottle near your laptop. Focus point 8. Bad habit. A tangled rope to untie. Sometimes getting the change we want means breaking a bad habit rather than creating a new one. Junie couldn't stop eating sugar. The death of her mother, raising 2 children, and juggling a job and marriage brought her a constant feeling of background stress that she was compensating for with sweets. Then Junie tried to understand the elements of her behavior. She discovered her grief prompt and tried to deal with it by journaling and calling friends. With self-exploration and the tiny habits method, Junie beat her sweets obsession. Picture a bad habit as a muddled rope with many knots. Just like you can't untie all the knots at once, you can't just break a habit. You have to untangle the mess step by step, starting with the easiest knot. Junie began her change with not having dessert after dinner on Sunday, then changing her car snacks to sugarless. It worked for her because it was a matter of following the proper instructions and not a weakness of character. Find out where you can make your most manageable changes. Then your tiny step becomes your source of power. You can't stop something big in general, but you can list the parts of your bad habit and work on them individually. Try to create a new positive habit, then eliminate the bad one or replace it with a new one. Also, look for a way to decrease motivation, increase ability, and put an end to the prompt. Your first step will be prompt. Turn off the app notifications to avoid scrolling for hours. Make your environment work for your desired behavior. You can also ignore places, people, or media that trigger your bad habit. The second step. Make that action harder to repeat. Ensure it requires more money, time, and physical and mental effort. If the previous steps don't work, go for the motivation step. A healthy snack at home motivates you not to eat junk food at a football game. Focus point 9. By creating yourself, you create the world. Mike and Carla had a tense relationship with their 21-year-old son Chris. He got kicked out of university, still lived with his parents, and could not perform simple tasks like cleaning up after himself or paying his bills. His parents tried to make him a better person, but they often talked to each other with anger and disrespect. Chris wanted to be all the good things his parents asked him to be but didn't know how to get there. He felt trapped and resentful. Then Mike started with the most effortless change he could come up with, asking Chris to take the filter out of the coffee machine. It was so easy that Chris did it every time. As a result, Mike helped his son to feel successful and celebrated him instead of criticizing him. This small action boosted confidence and led to more significant changes. You have the power to help others create change. It can be a change in your family, business, book club, or a product you are designing. Make sure you do it from the place of cherishing, supporting, and empowering other people. Here is a guide on how we can change together. Start with something people already have the desire to do. Make sure your aspirations are clear for everyone. Discover all possible behavioral options to achieve that aspiration. Choose the behaviors that match. They should have an impact, are not hard to do, and generate empowerment. Design the options to be as easy as possible. Ask if people have enough money, time, mental, and physical capacity and whether it contradicts their current routine. Find the right time for the habit. When does it feel natural to do it? Celebrate small victories. People change by feeling good, remember. Adjust your behavior together. Your first option might not be a good fit, the same as the first pair of trousers you try on while shopping. Don't be afraid to experiment. We improve our families, relationships, and workplaces with every good habit inside us. By becoming who we want to be, we create the world we want to live in. Conclusion. Meaningful change is possible when you know the right steps to take. Following the wrong steps toward your aspirations can lead to self-criticism and disappointment. To form lasting habits, focus on 3 key elements: motivation, ability, and prompt. Relying solely on willpower and desire can be unreliable. Instead, focus on specific behaviors that align with your goals. Consider all possible behavioral options that will lead you to where you want to be, but start with the easiest and smallest ones. These tiny changes will grow mighty before you notice. Why? Because you will consistently celebrate your successes along the way. Celebrate every small win to reinforce the positive feelings associated with your new habits. You have the power to decide how you spend your time and how you feel each day. Before making a choice, ask yourself if this decision takes you closer to where you want to be. Habits shape our identities, influence others, and impact businesses, workplaces, and cultures. Everything starts with these tiny changes that ultimately transform everything. Try this. Swarm of behaviors. Write down your desire in the center of a piece of paper. Surround it with possible behaviors. Check for motivation, ability, and effectiveness. Choose a tiny starter step and begin. Habit recipe. Create your habit recipe using the format after I current habit. I will new tiny habit. To celebrate, I will reward. Example. After I brush my teeth, I will drink 1 glass of water. Resources. Find more case studies, worksheets, and exercises online to form your habits.
As we conclude this journey, remember that language is magical. It connects us, bridges cultural divides, and allows us to express our deepest feelings. Let's cherish the beauty and power of language and continue to explore new audiobooks, uncovering new insights and forging meaningful connections. Stay tuned and keep on exploring knowledge on our channel Media Deem. Folks, it's the key to a world of wonder and wisdom. Keep listening and incorporating the knowledge into your conversations. The more you listen, the better you speak. See you next time.